Good morning, it's Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, here with another exciting episode. This one's a little bit different. We're not going to be deviating into any live Zoom meetings today. I'm actually backing up a fellow YouTuber. I stumbled across a video yesterday, and it was one of my favorite YouTubers was doing a feature article on Unicity. And he was featuring one of the scammers that I'd poked out of a Zoom meeting a month ago. And he was the main feature. And it was so awesome when you see other YouTubers doing big time YouTubes about other scams scammers and scams that I've been highlighting sort of backs up. So there is a community out here of YouTubers who want to look after each other. However, after a bit of conversation with the Avengers, they mentioned how he is currently being sued by a company called Primerica. And Primerica seems to have a big foothold in America. But when I had a look at it, it's just another product that seems to be interlaced with multi-level marketing. And if you've been watching my YouTube channel and you know me well enough, you know, I just can't stand multi-level marketing because many of you will know that I was brought up in a religious cult. And I used to believe everything that the elders and the ministerial servants used to tell me when they used to preach to us from the stage. And it's the same deal. I mean, people all like the idea of having a passive income because it's all over Instagram. People have got these lovely cars and they just travel around the world and they work for half an hour a day on a laptop. But these companies are selling multi-level marketing and they're telling you that you're going to make millions of dollars if you just follow their leadership. But the reality of it doesn't actually add up. And the only people making the money are the ones, well, not even the ones that are preaching the message. They're hoping to make the money because they're hoping that they're going to recruit you. Now, Marcus, AlwaysMarco, is his YouTube channel, has done a 42-minute video that just blows away anything I could actually do or add to the fact that Primerica is actually just a multi-level marketing company. I don't care about their product or service. I don't even care if their product or service is genuine because this is not what they are selling. So at the end of this video, I'm going to play Marco's video in its entirety. And I might even back right out of it altogether because it's a show of solidarity. I can't even say the word I want to say, but we're standing together as YouTubers who want to expose the world of multi-level marketing, the world of get rich quick, perhaps, or maybe the idea of creating a passive income by just recruiting other people. All these companies are about recruiting. That's all they do, recruit. You need to recruit your friends and family into it. And they talk very rarely about the product or service that they're actually offering. I first stumbled across Primerica. I crashed a Zoom meeting just about probably a few days ago, 25th of June. It was, 4 days ago. Even I don't know. But I'm just going to play a little bit. But this is what you see in their Zoom meetings.
It's like it's bad, it's a scam, it's something like that, right? You allow them.
Right, so now we're going to go in there in another web browser again.
Does that make sense, buddy? Opinion. And by the way, I'm gonna teach you something right now more than ever.
Now it's a terrible recording, so I'm not going to play it. But here was a picture of a pyramid, 50% commission, 50% commission, 50% commission, and this is agent broker. And here the whole presentation that I was watching that the Avengers and I went into was all about recruiting. It wasn't about, and also in New Zealand, we have to be regulated to be a financial advisor or even an insurance agent. You need to be regulated. You can't just make this shit up. Anyway, but basically I could pay, I think it's $100, and then I could become an agent, and then I could go sell insurance and other investment opportunities, I'm assuming, looking at their website for 10 minutes. So what I've done is I went to their website in New Zealand and it didn't work. So I couldn't even have a look at their website to date. So then I went to archive.org and I went through and I basically could get, would you believe, a 2018, December the 15th, 2018 copy of their website and went through, and I just basically put every page that you're looking into ChatGPT and ask it to highlight any red flags or any information that may make it interesting. And what we've finished up coming up with is we've actually come up with a blog. Oh, hello, Danny. A blog that basically is, let's say, by feeding in a whole lot of information, this isn't even my words, but it has highlighted a whole lot of red flags and a whole lot of information that really shows that if you want to get involved in multi-level marketing and you're an American, then do you really want to be involved in this industry that makes a whole lot of claims that they never deliver on? And the best thing I can do is keep on target and just read this blog, because I don't think you need to have a rocket degree to figure out that this company isn't really caring about health, and it isn't really caring about investment opportunities. They're literally just getting you to recruit. It's multi-level marketing. And if you don't know much about multi-level marketing, I can't stand it. So when you go to other YouTubes, the lady, Julie Anderson, I just sent her an email before I went live. She also has played these videos of Marco's, which we'll play at the end. And you can go through here and you can see all these other videos and all these other YouTubers that have actually, supporting him. He just does absolutely amazing work. So I want to be one of those YouTubers as well. I want to support Marco's. But first, I also want to do it Danny's way. And Danny's way is by doing a blog, making it so that when people search for this company, they find the blog and they can be informed to make an informed decision. And that's entirely up to you, whether you join this company or whether you sit here and think there must be other ways to make money online, which I do myself. But do I want to become a recruiter? Because that's what all this is. And, is it your way to get rich? Because if you listen to the video at the end, which I have listened to, you will see that this is not going to make you rich unless you sell your soul to the devil and become cult-like. So let's listen to this bit by bit and see what it says.
Primerica markets itself as a financial education company offering middle-class families tools to achieve financial independence.
Okay, so it's a financial educational company offering middle-class families the tool to achieve financial independence. Well, that's a statement on itself. We've got some people in the chat room. Nice to see you here. So, but first, I deal with them, so I have experience with it. Okay, then. And that's great. So have you been made a millionaire, would be the question I'll be asked, because in the video that we're going to watch with Marco's, it talks about all these people in a room. They were all millionaires, all from promoting Primerica. And we've also got some other people watching as well. Why have you got a different name? I thought you were Vines. I don't know. Anyway, nice to see you here. And Jellystack, as always, you're a pleasure to have in the show. So they're the people that's running across the top. So let's get stuck into this blog and see whether you would invest.
On paper, it sounds like a noble mission. Sell term life insurance, help people reduce debt, and empower them to invest in their futures. But once you peel back the marketing fluff and dive into how Primerica really operates, the lines between financial literacy and multi-level marketing MLM begin to blur dramatically.
Yeah, it does. And also, as I said, in New Zealand, to become a life insurance salesperson, you need to actually basically become a financial advisor, and you need to do quite a lot of work. But you can sign up here for a few dollars, and all of a sudden you have the right to push their products and services.
This blog represents my opinion based on archived public materials, whistleblower accounts, and third-party reporting. I was unable to access Primerica's official website from New Zealand as of the 28th of June, 2025. Therefore, I gathered my intel from archived pages dated the 15th of December, 2018, using the Wayback Machine source.
Yeah, so that's how I gathered my information for this blog. Let's have a listen.
Credit where it's due. AlwaysMarco's groundbreaking work. Much of the material in this blog builds on the hard-hitting investigative work done by Marco Moukhaiber, known online as AlwaysMarco. His viral 2023 video titled Infiltrating a Pyramid Scheme. Primerica documented a first-hand undercover investigation into Primerica's tactics. That video, and the fallout that followed, caused enough disruption that Primerica sued him in Canada.
Yeah, so that's this is the YouTuber. Absolutely amazing. 111,000K subscribers and 316 videos. The video that he did yesterday
of a massive multi-level marketing
was,
company. It's the CEO. Earlier in the day, there
Let's go, let's get it. Just
so I did it.
touchdown in Thailand, Bangkok. Five-star service.
sit down. Business. So we have a product that we sell online, teach people how to sell.
So I crashed this guy's Zoom meeting just a few days ago, and I got to ask him a few questions. And as soon as I asked him questions that he didn't want to answer, he just booted me out of the chat room. But it was awesome to be able to interview or cause disruption. This video is amazing. So this video has had 12,000 views in one day. He went to a meeting here, and basically he's just done an amazing. Like, this isn't what I do. I'm a live streamer, but this guy's done an amazing lot of research, and he's basically just put the cards on the table and let you choose what you do. But the fact that that caught my eye yesterday, I have watched other videos of him and other scams that I've gone after. He's absolutely incredible. So all credit due, and I'm going to put that in the chat room. So make sure you do subscribe to his video channel, I should say. So yes, so let's carry on and see what he's got.
The lawsuit, Primerica versus Marco Moukhaiber, Court of King's Bench of Alberta, Action No. Q2303-13143, alleges that Marco's content caused irreparable harm to the applicant's reputation, goodwill and business interests. Primerica is seeking not just removal of his videos, but a court-ordered ban on Marco mentioning their brand at all.
Yeah, so in Canada, I know the rules are a lot more stringent than they are in New Zealand. I'm a journalist, so I can actually say things, and I can publicize my opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the video that they removed is sitting on the screen over to the right of me here, and I'm going to play that at the end of this video, and you can watch this video in its entirety. And no doubt that Primerica does not want that video online, and they're obviously trying to actively remove that from the internet. So more YouTubers that copy that video, and if you want the link to that video, let me know. I can let you download my version of it, and let's get this video out there and expose Primerica.
But the real question is, why would a legitimate financial services company sue a YouTuber for exposing how their recruitment model works?
Yeah, I mean, if it's legitimate, then why?
Because what Marco showed wasn't a good look.
Yeah, how can you paint something good out of multi-level marketing? I mean, are we that desperate in life that we need to have multi-level marketing to make our passive income opportunity come live? Is it? Listen to this whole paragraph.
Financial needs analysis or recruitment funnel. Primerica boasts a complimentary, confidential financial needs analysis FNA, supposedly to help families assess their savings, debt, and insurance needs. But that FNA isn't just a benevolent consultation, it's a sales tool. Once prospects agree to sit down for their FNA, they are introduced to Primerica's suite of services, insurance, investments, legal protection, long-term care, and more. But here's the catch, most of those services are sold by part-time reps, many of whom have no formal background in finance. And guess how those reps are recruited? Through that very same free consultation. In my opinion, Primerica's real product isn't financial services, it's people.
Yep, it's recruiting. The other thing that I find quite interesting too, I mean, if anyone's got insurance with Primerica, then what happens if you had to claim? Are they selling that sort of life insurance? I don't know. I'd be interested to hear from anyone that's actually had a claim with them and it's all been honky-dory. And are they selling their own services, or are they selling third-party services? I didn't quite get that out of it. But hey, I haven't done a deep dive. I'm just giving my opinion.
The real business. Selling the dream from the outside. Primerica's focus appears to be insurance and investments, but insiders and former reps know that the true emphasis is on recruitment. You're encouraged to build a team, sign up friends and family, and climb a commission-based hierarchy. This mirrors the classic MLM structure. The more people you recruit beneath you, the more passive income you supposedly earn. This isn't speculation, it's embedded in Primerica's culture. They promote ownership of your own business, provide motivational materials, and even encourage reps to buy books like Network Marketing, Pyramid Scheme or Entrepreneur's Dream by Daniel Alonso and Gary Cornegay, both Primerica royalty, so let's call it what it is, the financial hustle dressed up in a pinstripe suit.
Yeah, that's crazy. And for those who do want to support me, you might notice that while I'm on my website, there's a support me link. It's a new service I'm trying out. You can come along here and you can actually support me literally by donating $5, or you can grab one of my memberships. Now, Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, unfortunately, has stopped supporting me at the moment, but we're in negotiations with them because we explained what we do and who we are and all that sort of stuff. We may actually be getting our Buy Me a Cup of Coffee service back, but we're waiting for them to do have a board meeting and the like. So it'll be interesting to see if it happens. But in the meantime, if you do want to support me, feel free to click on that support me link on my website, which is dehek.com, and do so. Now I've got where I was after all that excitement. I think we did mention that. The real business of selling the dream is recruitment. That we certainly did. The power of interest. Now I'm not going to read these. Sorry, I'll get my computer to read it. I'm very dyslexic, and if I read it, it wouldn't make any sense. But that's how I roll.
The power of compound interest and compounding confusion. Primerica's education materials include flashy animations about compound interest, the rule of 72, and debt stacking, all basic financial concepts you can learn for free on YouTube, but Primerica uses them as bait. Take the power of compound interest chart. They claim saving $200 a month at 12% interest could yield $1.3 million over 35 years. Never mind that 12% annual returns are wildly unrealistic for the average investor. But when you're selling dreams, realism is optional. These projections aren't just misleading, they're weaponized to convince people to buy into insurance, investment products, and, most of all, the opportunity to become a rep.
Yeah, so as we've just had the comment from Jelly Snack, that Marco's is amazing. He goes through and breaks down this whole opportunity financially on the screen and works it out for you to see whether it's a viable business opportunity. Remember, they sell that as a opportunity of a lifetime where you can actually have this as your business and your full-time job. But mathematically speaking, it doesn't add up. And it's a pyramid. So the people at the top are the ones that are benefiting from this, which is just absolutely crazy. So why do you need to have this in your life is the question that you should be pondering right about now.
Legal shield, identity theft, and upsells. Beyond insurance, Primerica also sells services like ID theft defense and legal shield memberships, but not directly. These are upsold through referral agreements with third-party providers. Primerica's site even admits that reps do not directly provide these services, which begs the question, why does a company claiming to focus on financial literacy spend so much time upselling legal insurance and identity theft protection? It all ties back to their pitch. You can make money selling everything we offer.
Now, I'm pretty sure I did an article on Legal Shield. I'm just going to jump to my website and actually have a look. I did see that on their website, and I thought, oh, I wonder if it was the same. But I think Legal Shield could actually be, there it is. So we did actually do a blog about Legal Shield. This poor guy here, we made him cry in a Zoom meeting, and you'll see another video of me doing so quite happily. But in here, we talk about Legal Shield, and obviously this is why I've been getting a few Zoom links from people telling me to check out these Zoom meetings. And then I go in there and I just see people gaslighting people. You know, like, look at this this video here that we just showed you a few minutes ago. This guy's in a classroom with a whiteboard showing people how a pyramid works.
Do you know how you control a person? Do you know how
Yeah,
the
we
world
do.
controls people?
Okay, so what we're going to do, did you hear what he said? Do you know how to control a person? What has that got to do with selling insurance? It is all about manipulating people. And yeah, and this is, so we cause major disruption in that very Zoom. And also we've had other Zoom meetings where we've gone in here and, you know, caused major havoc. But every time we go into one of these Zoom meetings, we don't see them selling, they're using scare tactics. They're using manipulation, mind techniques, and we just went into the Zoom meeting and caused havoc, and we'll continue to do so. My team of Avengers, we sort of get excited when we find a Zoom meeting where we can shut them down. We got to the point, and I believe in this particular video that you see here, we actually managed to shut down the meeting, I think at the end. We normally do. That has been ended by the host. So quite exciting, but do you need to use scare tactics to sell a product or service to somebody? And if so, that's what these people are doing. So Legal Shield, I've heard them say before, that one guy come up with this hard luck story, and he's telling people how he had his identity stolen, and he was about to go to court, and he was about to be arrested because somebody had stolen his identity. And if he had Legal Shield, the normal shit they normally go on about, and it just pisses us off. Hello, Susie. Nice to see you here. My Avengers are so supportive. I've been doing this for 4 years. I go live at just about any time. It is 8:36 a.m. Sunday morning here in New Zealand. At 10 o'clock, I've got to go for a run in the hills because it's somebody's birthday. And I said I'd join them. So I thought I'd do a sneaky live. I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock, started getting ready for this live, and got interrupted by a few people. One person lost $140,000 and they want to tell me all about it and a scam. Another lady's doing an investigation at the moment. She wants to know all about Smart Lab, so I've been feeding her information, and then we had a couple of other interruptions. A phone call from a guy in the UK who's about to jump on a train, and this is my morning. I was get bombarded by text, emails, phone calls from people who want to speak to me and tell me that they've lost money, and then people go, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," and I go, "Well, I do, because I'm at the bottom of the cliff, listening to people's stories and how they've lost money and how they thought this, they were told that, and it's just a bunch of lies." So then I do my best. Like, I got up 6 o'clock and I didn't go live until about 8:15 this morning. But my point is, I'm trying to put blogs on the internet so that people can search and do their own research, and hopefully they watch my videos. I get numerous, I actually literally get hundreds of emails from people saying, "Thank you very much for your videos. Thank you very much for your blogs. I did a bit of research before I went live," or not live until I was about to go investing, "and I read your blogs. Thank you so much for your content." And some of my content is a year old. Well, not a year old, it's older than that, but some people come to me and they're still finding opportunities that are being pushed that are more than a year old, and my content's still working. So thank you for those people that have done the due diligence. And I think as time goes on in life and the universe, people are now realizing there's so many scams out there. Stop handing out your money. Stop listening to people in Zoom meeting gaslighting. Do some due diligence. Use some common sense, and away you go, and you'll save yourself from a whole lot of grief.
Legal Shield, identity theft, and upsells. Beyond insurance, Primerica also sells services like ID theft defense and Legal Shield memberships, but not directly. These are upsold through referral agreements with third-party providers. Primerica's site even admits that reps do not directly provide these.
I'm sorry, I've read that already. Should have scrolled on. So you get the idea of that. They're not even selling their own services by the sounds of it. They're selling third-party services. So it is just recruitment. Any multi-level marketing company struggles to find a product or a service they can call a real genuine product or a service. So as soon as they latch onto something, they could literally be selling toothpicks. It wouldn't matter. They just want anything that they can claim as a real product. And then in comes the multi-level marketing and the recruitment side of it. So that's what they all do. I'm sure it's the same in Primerica. Oh, did I get it right that time? Don't think so. Primerica. I'm sure they're doing the same thing. Well, I know they're doing the same thing, but you need to come up with it. You need to make your own mind and your own decision about whether you get involved in a company like this or you don't get involved in a company like this. And I'd really ask that big question before you really think about it. Why would you need to sign up and pay, money to get involved in a company? That's how they make their money, is by you signing up.
The $728 billion lie. Primerica claims they have over $728 billion of life insurance in force, with over $3.5 million in benefits paid daily. But these numbers are highly misleading if not contextualized. Life insurance in force simply means the face value of all policies sold, not that this amount has been paid out or even collected. The average consumer sees a figure like that and assumes it's cash in the bank. It's not. It's an inflated number designed to impress. And while Primerica boasts a 94% claim payout rate, the fine print tells a different story. The majority of reps never make real money, and many clients don't even understand what they are buying.
Yeah, so anytime I've been pushing any of these multi-level marketing opportunities, they always have a massive figure, like this $728 billion. Is this what people are covered by if the worst scenario? So let's just say the other day, it's not related, but I'm going to tell you a quick story. I rang up the insurance company about my car. Now, my car's insured for $30,000, and I was paying an insurance policy of $128 a month. So I ring up the insurance company and I go to them. I go, well, will you pay me $30,000 if I crash my car? Because my car's now 5 years old. And they go, oh, we'll go by. First of all, they said, we're not financial advisors, so we can't offer you advice on what your car's worth. And I go, oh, that's funny, because when I crashed my when somebody crashed into my 9-month-old car, all of a sudden you knew exactly how much money that car was worth and how much money you were going to pay out. So I literally paid $32,000 for this car, and it was sitting on the side of the road, and some young guy was texting and driving to the back of it. It basically just about wrote the car off. So they said, well, your $32,000 car, even though it's only 9 months old, we think it's worth $23,000. And I said, well, there's a big lot of loss there. So we fought back and forth, and we got it up to the value of $25,000. And that was, it was a long story. But when I rang them up the other day and I said, is my car insured for $30,000? They come back to me and said, well, we don't know the market rate of your car. So I did a quick search and found it was worth $16,000. And I said, well, can we change it that the maximum it's insured for $16,000? Oh, if you want to do that, sir. And I said, now what's my policy? So now my policies are $99 a month instead. They wouldn't have changed that figure back for me. And I just saved myself $28 a month. However, technically speaking, they could probably say that we have Danny's covered for $30,000. When they would never pay that out. And I'm just assuming that this $128 million is what everyone's covered for. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. But whether they actually would ever pay that out, it was like all the houses in Christchurch when there was a big earthquake here. The insurance companies went broke because they couldn't afford to pay the money that everyone's houses were insured for. And then it became a real battle. Anyway, I'm getting past, but it's just big figures, numbers to bamboozle people to make you feel like you've got backing.
Suing to stay silent. Primerica versus free speech. Marco Moukhaiber isn't the first critic Primerica has tried to shut down, and he probably won't be the last. But their ongoing Canadian lawsuit exposes something important. Primerica doesn't just want to win in court, they want silence. In their July 2023 affidavit, they cite the scope and global reach of Marco's videos, and claim they breached the Trademarks Act, the Copyright Act, and the Competition Act. They've sought court orders to force YouTube to remove his content, and to unblock Primerica's lawyers from Marco's social media accounts.
Crazy, eh? So this is what people go up with. This is Canada, though. This is a lot different than New Zealand.
This isn't about protecting consumers, it's about protecting the brand. You're right to raise this. Glenn J. Williams, the CEO of Primerica, is not currently mentioned anywhere in your blog draft. Given that you're exposing the structure, lawsuits, and questionable practices of the company, it would make sense to include a paragraph that places...
What a laugh. That's not even meant to be in the blog. That's why ChatGPT, you got to check what you do, guys. That's bad. You're right in this case. So what I did ask ChatGPT to do, when I researched for the thumbnail, which you can see at the top here, I asked actually who the CEO was, because he was obviously the guy behind the company, and they're going after Marco's. So I didn't do that right. So my bad on that one. So we're going to get rid of that. So we wanted to include a paragraph about Glenn, who's the CEO, and then we'll get straight into the video, and I'll fix my blog up.
Who's really in charge? Glenn J. Williams. At the helm at the top of the Primerica pyramid sits Glenn J. Williams, the company's CEO since 2015. With decades inside the Primerica machine, Williams isn't just some hired gun, he's part of the system that built this recruitment-driven empire. Under his leadership, Primerica has continued to frame its agents as financial educators, while aggressively expanding its downline-focused sales model. In my opinion, any serious discussion about Primerica's ethical failures needs to start at the top. If the company truly believes in empowering Main Street families, why sue a YouTuber instead of addressing the real issues in-house? Leadership isn't about protecting your brand through litigation, it's about accountability.
Yeah, and I'm just fixing up that paragraph as we speak. I hate when I make mistakes, but mistakes has happened, and also you can fix things live. So if you go back to that now, and we hit refresh, we should have Danny's edited that in the background while it's reading that paragraph, in my opinion. And there we go. So now we've got that. So it's protecting the brand, but it isn't about protecting the brand. It's about protecting the brand. Who is this guy? Glenn, we've read that. And my final thoughts and my 2 cents worth. I'm sick and tired of hearing about multi-level marketing companies, but it's their marketing strategies that just absolutely infuriate me. And my Avengers are in the chat room. We can't stand these multi-level marketing. It's like literally being gaslighted to by some milkshake company that's selling poison and it's telling you to, test the Kool-Aid. I'm going, don't do it, guys. Don't get involved in multi-level marketing. There's better ways to make money.
Final thoughts. My opinion, my warning in my opinion, Primerica walks, talks, and recruits like an MLM. It offers entry-level financial services, then convinces its own customers to become unpaid marketers of those services. It teaches simple financial concepts, but only as a setup for a more complex pitch. Join us, sell the dream, climb the ladder. If Primerica wants to be taken seriously as a financial services provider, they should stop acting like a recruitment machine and start behaving like a regulated institution. Suing a YouTuber for speaking out? That's not the move of a confident company. It's the move of one trying to hide its true nature. To Marco, keep fighting. You've inspired others to speak up. And to anyone considering joining Primerica, do your research. And if it smells like an MLM, it probably is. Stay tuned. We'll be embedding Marco's video directly into this blog post. And as always, this blog represents my opinion. But when enough people speak out, the truth gets louder.
Yeah, so good on you, Marcos. I don't know you from a bar of soap. We've never talked, we've never communicated before. But when I saw his video yesterday, I thought this guy is a crusader. He hasn't got he hasn't got 1 billion subscribers. He's got 111,000 subscribers, and he's earned every single one of them. So I'm really impressed with his content. I wanted to support him. So let's play this video. I might disappear halfway through it, but if you are thinking about getting involved in Primerica, I just want you to watch this video of Marcos's, and it's breathtaking. But do you need to have the rah-rah and the raw of this guy standing on the stage to get involved in a company that's claims they're going to build you your financial future? The answer to that is no, you don't. Down with MLM is what Jelly Snack just said in the chat room. Too right. So here we go. Let's get started. Without further ado, Marcos, I take my hat off to you if I had one, but this is a brilliant video. It's much classier than anything I'll ever produce. Well, let's hope. Let's see. Let's listen to this. Here we go. It's going to take a second or two to get started.
Oh, you went to one of those Primerica deals. They brainwash you. The United States government is structured just like a triangle.
Number one, pyramids are illegal.
The military stays recruiting. Colleges stay recruiting. So if you want to stay in business, you know that you got to keep recruiting, right?
Don't you let nobody steal your dream!
Oh my God. Right.
Many people have commented on my channel asking me to investigate whether or not Primerica is a pyramid scheme. So after calling around to multiple Primerica offices in my city, I finally found a representative who was willing to sit down and explain to me exactly what Primerica does. Since so many people in my city recognize me for my pyramid scheme videos, I told this recruiter that my name was Alex. I got dressed for success, and I got my hidden microphone and spy pen camera ready to go. Okay, I just got here to
Gotta get one of those.
And I'm nervous. I haven't done one of these in person in 3 years. Wish me luck.
Alex,
Thank you so much.
this is our office.
Amazing.
You know, when it's full and there's a bunch of people in here, it is the most positive place you'll ever see. So, Primerica is one of the only companies in the world that has the most $1 million earners.
Of any company? So the most people who have become a millionaire from their job is from Primerica?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Primerica does come up as the #1 result when I Googled it, but when you click on the source, you find this picture of a person on a motorcycle posted on a Facebook page called Toys for Boys. I think there's some sort of SEO optimization strategy going on here, and when you search commonly asked questions about the company, you find overwhelmingly positive results. For example, Primerica's website explicitly says that not only are they not a pyramid scheme, they aren't even multi-level marketing. This is simply untrue. Primerica is a member of the Direct Selling Association, which is composed almost entirely of MLM companies and lobbies the government on their behalf. We'll get into that more in depth later.
So if you, as the RVP, trained and developed 3 RVPs, you're now a senior vice president, which means your income could be anywhere from $10,000. I've seen senior vice presidents make $50,000 a month.
$50,000 a month?
Yes. So you can make up to, and no, I don't say up to, because it is an unlimited income potential. So you get all the training for social media, what you can, can't do, all of those things.
Oh, they have
Twitter.
You can't do certain things?
Instagram. Yeah, because we are highly regulated. You can't go, I make $500,000 a year.
Oh.
You can't.
Why not?
That. Because what you want to do is you want to talk to people about the opportunity.
But how do you talk about the opportunity that's life-changing without giving examples of how it changed your life?
Oh, it changes you're not wrong.
Throughout the process of making this video, I recorded hundreds of Instagram stories and other social media posts from Primerica agents at the highest level of the company that violated not only Primerica's own internal social media guidelines, but also of this FTC warning letter that was issued to over 1,100 companies, most of them MLM companies, including Primerica, that says if their distributors made false money-making claims to consumers, they could be fined over $43,000 per violation. If typical representatives do not achieve such results, then your post may be considered false or misleading by regulators. You can celebrate most milestones and achievements with the required earnings disclosure described on page 15 and 16, but you may not reference milestones for $1 million earners and above.
Yes. This is 2021. These are all the $1 million earners.
So we literally just looked at an official Primerica document that said not to make reference to $1 million earners and above, and then she pulled out a book showing all the $1 million earners.
Mario Arizon. He was 18 years old when he started with Primerica. He was the youngest $1 million earner to hit $1 million at 28 years old.
And they used to tell me, hey, Mario, don't get your hopes up. Let me tell you right now, you better get your hopes up. I want you to imagine this. You see a rabbit fly through your backyard, like, where did that come from? And then 3 seconds later, you know why it's running. There's a big old dog chasing it. See, now I want you to picture that same dog, but you've never seen the rabbit. You would think that dog's crazy. Well, guess what? That's what your family thinks about you sometimes. It's just a matter of time before they convince you that you're crazy and you're gonna stop chasing greatness, and that's sad.
Mario Arizon runs the Arizon hierarchy team in Primerica. Mario utilizes all the logical fallacies in the book to defend Primerica, but he's especially gifted when it comes to emphasizing the importance of belief. This, combined with his rags to riches story and the non-stop, almost daily deceptive lifestyle and earnings claims he posts on Instagram, has made Mario one of Primerica's most successful recruiters.
This is me working at a night swami. See, on the weekends, I had to work since 5 in the morning, and I wouldn't come home sometimes till 1 in the morning. You know what God was doing? He was shaping me for my destiny. How I represent myself in this earth is how I represent him. And there's no way God has blessed me with too much for me to let him down.
Praise the Lord.
I went from living in a van to living in the freaking mansion, and this is actually my guest house. You got the Versace on? Yes, got Versace, some Louis on. I got this for Father's Day, a beautiful Rolly. We're building a resort, so I have a basketball court here. This is not just any regular pool, it's gonna be a wave pool. Man, this pool is really cool at night, lights up, fire, everything. I'll bring out the Lambo, you bring out the Rolls. When after I'm done, this house will be like $10, $15 million. Building a life-size theater. How much money do you make per month? Around $1 million a month. $1 million a month? Yeah.
They asked Mario, how are you so humble?
Our team is not like family, they are a family. So they come over, we have a blast, we sell them the dream. My mom's birthday was yesterday, and that's awesome. But they used to say, even on her birthday, like, Mario, what type of son are you? It's Mother's Day. You're working on Mother's Day? Yeah. You know what I told them? What do you tell them? That's why I'm working so hard.
Oh, he's got answers for everything, these guys, haven't they?
Who says once a year I can celebrate my mom's day? Yeah. That's an employee mindset.
Oh, you went to one of those Primerica deals. They brainwash you. Every person on stage will tell you they've been through that. It's your ability to say, you know what? I love you, but I love you enough to keep you, love you enough from a distance. Oh, that's my mom. Your mom will thank you one day.
Mary Lou, what type of mother are you? Your son's not going to college? Your son's doing that pyramid thing, huh? Hey, I drive the Lamborghini. Mama, don't have to worry about money no more because I know my purpose. Don't you let nobody steal your dreams.
Jesus.
My heart is so big, and it blows my mind. That's the Primerica convention, so we go to the Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And we fill it.
And that's why we became the youngest $500,000 earner in Primerica.
Wow. I think I want to sign up.
These extravagant Primerica conventions are, in my opinion, nothing more than expensive hype rallies where recruits listen to hours of mindless motivational babble from the people at the very top of the company. These events are where chanting, singing, clapping, praying, and manifesting all get mixed with music and confetti and mob psychology to create an almost religious euphoria
Move over Tony
among
Roberts.
the attendees. It's also worth noting that every MLM I've ever looked into holds events like these multiple times a year to keep morale in the company high and discourage people from leaving. The message pushed at these events is usually along the lines of quitters never win and winners never quit. It's these elements that contribute to why I believe MLM companies operate as commercial cults. Primerica even has their own propaganda videos that they use to discredit outside sources of information. Check it out.
If you've surfed the web, you've probably read a lot of things that don't make sense or are simply not true. You would not believe the advertising revenue that's generated by people who build deceptive websites just to make a quick buck.
You know, people have a right to be wrong just because they type it on the internet. That doesn't make it true.
If you Google moon landing scam, you'll find 184,000 search results.
I once heard the internet described as the bathroom wall of the 21st century.
If you hang around negative people, sooner or later, it's bound to have a negative impact on
I
you.
love that. That's what I am. I'm negative.
The world's largest independent financial marketing company, licensed in every single state. With some of the top private equity firms in the world investing hundreds of millions of dollars with us.
You think that they probably would have uncovered a scam before your brother-in-law did?
If that's a scam, I'll take 2, please.
That's my kind of scam.
What other company or industry can you think of that has to go this hard to try and convince you they're not a scam?
The beauty of Primerica is I can do it part-time, I can do it full-time,
Oh,
or I can do
perfect
it in my
job.
spare time. My clients are not just clients, they are my friends.
Oh.
They're pieces of my family.
Oh,
so I take them very
please.
seriously. So when they call me at 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to answer the darn phone.
Part-time, full-time, or spare time, but you're answering the phone for clients at 11 o'clock at night? That sounds to me like you're working all the time.
This is the video that's going to kind of explain everything of what we do. And so it's a business opportunity video.
A lot of companies have done their research on us, and many have chosen to partner with Primerica to help us fulfill our mission across North America.
So Primerica deals with financial products, primarily insurance, and they act as a middleman between the policy issuer and the customer. What I take issue with here is them saying that they are partnered with these companies. Primerica is essentially a vendor for these companies. So in my opinion, saying they're partnered with them would be like a convenience store owner saying they're partnered with Coca-Cola and Doritos because they sell Coca-Cola and Doritos. The video then attempts to legitimize Primerica by mentioning that they're listed on the New York Stock Exchange, that they've been around since 1977, and how they're a part of the Fortune 1000, and how Forbes named them one of America's most trustworthy financial companies. There's no doubt that Primerica is certainly a legal company, but just because a company is publicly traded and has been around a long time doesn't eliminate the potential for wrongdoing. And even though something is legal, it doesn't mean it's ethical. Slavery was legal for hundreds of years, and we can all agree today that it was wrong.
The business model is very common. When a doctor has other doctors work for her, she has a practice. When a lawyer hires other lawyers to work for him, he has a firm. When you train people to be financial guides for others, you have an agency.
Primerica will do to finance what Amazon did to retail. Aside from Amazon, medical practices, law firms, and insurance agencies, throughout this video, you will hear Primerica compared to traditional corporations, the military, the government, professional sports, colleges, and marriage. These are all false equivalencies that reveal themselves to be completely nonsense when you break them down. Oh, hold on. I know this guy. Gary.
Cornegay? Yeah.
I seen him on Instagram driving like a Bentley, I think. I first learned of Gary Cornegay's existence at the end of 2021. I was doing a live stream on my channel, and I had a Zoom link where people could call in and talk to me. He called in to tell me what a big fan of my work he was because he also fights dishonest pyramid schemes.
I've been in MLM for 33 years, and I've been fighting all these wannabe MLM companies that are
reminds me of somebody else we know.
I hate to say it, like a pyramid scheme.
Okay, so Gary contradicts Primerica's website and admits that it is in fact multi-level marketing. That's a start. Gary thinking that Primerica is any better than the rest of the MLM companies out there is evidence to me of how successful the us versus them brainwashing is. I've heard people in MLMs refer to Amway as Scamway, even though Amway paved the way for these companies to do exactly the same thing, and without Amway they wouldn't even exist. As a matter of fact, the founder of Primerica, Art Williams, wrote in his book Coach that he got the idea for Primerica's structure from Amway. Every MLM I've studied makes its members think that they're the best one and the rest are scams. It's insane. What can I ask you what the company is, Gary, that you're in?
Well, I don't know if I could do that legally, you know.
Why not?
But my compliance department may chew my ass out.
I don't think the compliance department would have an issue with you saying, hey, I've been with a company for 33 years and it changed my life. If anything, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is, yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
the fact that Gary didn't want to tell me the name of the company he was with is a huge red flag to me. In my experience, I've noticed that MLMs often have groups or teams with their own branding that they use to recruit people, and it's usually not until you're already sitting at one of their opportunity presentations where you see what the actual company is. Gary's brand is called the Cornegay Hierarchy or Cornegay Family Enterprises. After I put that video with Gary out, Primerica put a copyright claim on it, and I got a copyright strike on my channel as well. Thankfully, I was able to get this reversed after a few days, and the video was put back up. Silencing critics and removing any content that questions or criticizes them is arguably the highest priority of a large cult. Primerica even caught wind of me making this video and sent me this cease and desist letter back in April, claiming that I had violated their copyright by using their logo in a couple thumbnails from my Multilevel Misery series, where I talked to former Primerica recruits about their experience. They also claimed that my words in those videos were defamatory and specifically demanded that I don't release a video called Infiltrating a Pyramid Scheme, Primerica.
I'm from the hood of South Central LA, so I grew up in a gang-infested, drug-infested environment.
Gary's backstory is all over the place. In our first conversation, he tells me he's from the gang-infested, drug-infested hood. But in an interview that came out a year earlier, Gary says that his life growing up was one of immense privilege.
Well, my dad bought his first home in 1961, and then as time went on, he bought 2 homes on the block. They bought 3 homes on the same block.
Oh my God.
Apartment complex.
Good stuff,
Then he bought a parking lot next to a church, then he bought the church. He just kind of kept going with that. So it was great, man. So being a kid, you know, in the 1960s for our family was the Cleavers. We really were the Cleavers. I'm serious, man. I never wanted for money. I never been broke down in my life. My parents have always had money. My dad gave me a home. My dad gave me a home for my wedding gift.
His contradictions continue when he talks about his education.
I did not go to college. I don't have any formal education past high school. As a matter of fact, I repeated to 12th grade.
But then in one of his Zoom meetings, Gary is telling this story about how he would call restaurants that were fully booked, trying to get a reservation for his wife's birthday, where he refers to himself multiple times as Dr. Cornegay.
I'm Dr. Gary Cornegay. Dr. Cornegay, man. Dr. Cornegay. Thank you so much for
Dr.
I did
Cornegay.
a lot of research for this video, and I could not find a single thing online that would confirm to me that Gary is a doctor in any sense of the word.
Wow.
I don't own the restaurant anymore. I don't own the publishing company anymore. I don't own the record label anymore. So I'm not saying that I own these things. I was trying to tell you that I failed in all of those businesses.
I've seen this a lot in my experience with MLMs, where a recruiter talks about how some past business of theirs failed and how their MLM was the opportunity that turned everything around for them. I think the point of this is to convince people how amazing their MLM is, but to me, it just reaffirms what I've always believed, that the people at the top of these MLMs actually have no business acumen whatsoever and have failed at every other form of legitimate business they've tried their hand at, and so now they've opted for deceiving people into a pyramid scheme instead.
I built the same company for 33 years, and I've amassed a fortune doing it. I never said I made money off of it. I've been in it 33 years.
You did say you made money off it. You said you've made a fortune off of it.
You know, a lot of these multi-market companies, their products are tied to recruiting. They'll package the product inside the application and say, oh no, it doesn't cost you nothing to join. I haven't made a dime in my 33-year career ever on recruiting anybody. I wish I did.
What?
I didn't have one penny on anybody sign up in this company ever.
Another lie. Here's a clip from yet another Gary Zoom I attended where he talks about how the downline of one single recruit makes up a large chunk of his income.
Out of 1,300 licenses, I think he's at 600, 700 of them. One person is a third of my business, pretty much. My lifestyle is so freaking awesome. There's no words in the dictionary to explain it. I can go anywhere I want to go, stay as long as I want to stay. I could burn through 100 grand. And by the time I make it back home in 15 days from vacation, 100,000 back in my account. You're one recruit away from being a millionaire. If I say triangle.
They're all the same, aren't they?
Pyramid. So this is me. I make $200,000 a month. Yeah, the corporate store. Well, they don't like that. All the anti-Marco guys go, and those people in the network marketing, they try to say, well, a job is like a pyramid. You have the president of the company, the vice president of the company, you have the executive board, and how do you
Everything's a pyramid, right?
This person gets fired because it gets smaller as it gets closer to the top. So this guy's trying to kill this guy.
That guy probably will never stop.
You would never.
Here, Gary uses this mocking tone to imitate those who are opposed to multi-level marketing and actually ends up proving the point that he's trying to argue against. MLM is not like a corporate structure. This is one of the most common false equivalences used by people in MLMs to try and argue that everything is a pyramid scheme. They will look at something that has a hierarchical structure that you could draw as a triangle or pyramid on paper. They will then leave out the word scheme and go, see, everything is a pyramid. Your job is a pyramid. Your family's a pyramid. There's your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, you, your brother, your sister, your kids. Isn't that multi-level? So they focus on the shape of the structure and not the things that make it a pyramid scheme. Specifically, the pay-to-play mandate, the endless chain recruiting model, the recruiting mandate to reach the next level, and the extreme money transfer from the bottom 99% of participants to the 1% at the top.
The United States government is structured just like a triangle.
The president did not become the president because he recruited 3 vice presidents and so on.
Oh,
Gary's
brilliant.
analogy is complete nonsense. Then he says that the people at the bottom of a corporate structure will never reach the top. This is just simply untrue. You absolutely can work your way up through a company to get a better position. It's called a promotion, and they're fundamental elements of business. If everyone stayed at the same position in a company forever, what would happen when all the senior members retired? There has to be people at lower levels who move up and take their place, and new people to fill in the spaces for those who have moved up. And you know who would understand this concept, Gary? Anyone who's actually worked a job.
50% of our marriages end in divorce. Those are real numbers. But I'm not going to go to somebody's wedding this Saturday and go, can I say something real quick? Do you know you have a 50%
Oh my God, they have an ounce for everything.
Here, Gary talks about 50% of marriages failing as his way of responding to the fact that 99% of annual participants in MLMs lose money. Never mind that a 50% failure rate is nowhere near a 99% failure rate, but married couples are not getting divorced because they failed to recruit 3 other married couples and so on. I've heard so many of these deflections from people who have been brainwashed by MLMs. They'll say, you know what the real scam is? College. Student loans are so high, the business professor doesn't even own a business, etc. But pointing out the shortcomings of other things doesn't wash away your own. Imagine you were standing before a judge in court, accused of stealing a car, and instead of pleading your case, you just went, well, Your Honor, that guy stole a bike.
America's in a crisis. The world is in a crisis. People are losing hope. Because see, folks, after slavery came jobs. Job is another form of slavery. Why? Because you work for someone, they get all the wealth, and they give you what? The crumbs. The Bible says the borrower is a slave to the lender. Isn't that amazing that one of your credit cards is called MasterCard? And to every master, there's a slave.
I can't tell you how uncomfortable it makes me to have to point out to Gary, a black man who is old enough to be my father, that jobs and slavery are not the same thing. In that clip, which is from 2009, Gary uses the economic factors of the world at the time to explain why now is the time to join Primerica. He does the exact same thing in this clip from 2020.
The world needs us today, more so than ever. People are scared, fearful, going into depression, and we have to be the neighborhood hope dealers.
What Gary is doing here is called thought stopping. He's getting you to operate on emotion instead of thinking critically.
NLP training, Matt 101, isn't it?
And then you came across someone like Gary, a well-dressed, charismatic person who claims to be an entrepreneur who makes a fortune and helps others to do the same, you might be convinced. Add to that the fact that you were likely introduced to this person by a close friend or family member that you already know and trust. Add to that the fact that you're most likely influenced by the peer pressure or mob psychology that comes along with being presented the opportunity in a room full of people who are clapping and cheering and laughing in support of the person at the front of the room, in this case, Gary. In the next clip, you're going to see Gary do exactly that to hundreds of young black people at last year's African American Leadership Council event from Primerica. What I didn't tell you yet is that Primerica has an African American, Hispanic American, and Asian Pacific Islander Leadership Council. In my opinion, these councils and their events are used to target these ethnic groups specifically.
They always go with the black
These are
African
unfortunately
communities.
among the demographics that have the largest, most closely knit families and communities that can be exploited by an MLM company's endless chain.
I'm going to show you how to get wealthy. And I know for a fact that if you follow these principles, you can walk out here today, literally, right, and say, guess what, mama? Guess what, wife? Guess what, husband? Guess what, kids? Guess what, dad? We're going to be rich. It's a mindset. I'm going to win here. I'm going to win here. If I don't win,
Oh my God.
If I don't win, it's because I don't want to win. This is the preemptive victim blaming that every MLM I've ever looked at uses to get you to believe that if you fail, it's your fault. Just look at me. I'm successful, so obviously the system works. Maybe you just didn't work.
I trained my son to be an entrepreneur. He'll never work ever in his life. It's a sin in my household to have a job.
Spoken like a true spoiled rich kid. Every MLM I've ever studied looks at jobs as the worst possible thing that could happen to someone. They have these little acronyms designed to make themselves look like they're above the slavery of having a JOB, journey of the broke, just over broke, etc. This type of behavior is dehumanizing and wrong. It's also ironic because even those pesky little jobs that pay the least would still earn you more than you would likely make in an MLM. Speaking of Gary's son, let's look at how Gary Cornegay Jr., aka G2, 2 has blossomed under Gary Sr.'s leadership.
The person that's been BSing you, saying they want to talk about it later, they want to think about it, I don't know. This is where you pull the trigger. This is where you poke your chest out. This is where you start talking that way. You start saying, hey, listen, I'm 3 clients away from a promotion. Somebody in your house is buying a policy tonight, and this fool let me write his wife up. I do this all the time, by the way. See, I'm stupid enough to believe what's being said from the stage.
Wow.
Take your ID out. Let's go ahead and start this application. How much will it be today? It's only 124. You got that. I know you got that. Come on, let's go ahead. Well, I don't have it. Perfect. Who can we call to get it? Because you can't pass up.
Oh my God.
Lifetime opportunity.
This is
Well, I can
terrible.
join under you next week. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might be wealthy as all outdoors next week and don't want to work with you.
Now let's look at another one of Gary's recruits,
Wow.
Vivian, and see what her Primerica recruiting presentation looks like.
90% of winning in Primerica has everything to do with your mindset. Mentorship is so big, you guys. And so attending these Zoom meetings is very important to building your business. And I'm going to be honest with you, you will not make it in this business if you miss meetings.
Having control over your time is a fundamental priority of cults. They need you to be constantly inundated with noise, whether that's Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, engaging and posting on social media, Telegram group chats, events, etc. And mind you, this is unpaid time that you're spending on Primerica that isn't actually centered around selling anything or making money. And Vivian is saying that if you miss these meetings, you won't make it in Primerica. On this slide in Vivian's presentation, it says, the only way to build long-term passive income is through having a system where recruiting never stops. Passive income means you do the work once and you get paid forever. So how can this be passive income if recruiting never stops? Gary is a prime example of this. He's dedicating hours of his time every week to these Zoom calls, which means it's not passive income.
And everybody recruits, okay? The military stays recruiting, the NFL, NBA, right?
Yeah.
They stay recruiting, colleges stay recruiting. So if you want to stay in business long enough, you know that you got to keep recruiting, right?
Again with the false equivalencies. NBA teams do not win championships by having the biggest downline of players. Nonsense, nonsense, and more nonsense.
Everyone wants to make money, okay? So who do you know that maybe is a stay-at-home parent? Who do you know that maybe just got laid off, right? Start thinking of people, and you're going to set up recruiting appointments with them.
Who do you know that?
All right. So just to show you what real-time scams look like, I've got 2 in the window at the moment. And these are non-related to Primerica, but I just want you to listen to the techniques. Now, this is live. I don't know what these people are peddling, but the guy's actually using his hands like he's gesturing like a pyramid. So let's just have a listen to this for a second.
And successful 100%. So one after another, because our factory already established, we have to do some expansion because the large team coming. So that we have to do some expansion. We'll do it, and we'll open 2 branches in Africa. Africa is a huge market. They get from China, they get from India. So we have to. We'll get the customer from Africa when our factory will be there. The local factories, plastic factory will not go to buy from other country. Okay, so. This things is coming with it. We'll explain everything properly, in details, in documents. Not like just I'm telling. In video, you can see people can visit the place. There is no issue. And if even we'll make a tour, our leaders will visit the factory.
So now I understand that is the ecosystem of this.
Yes, madam.
It's a different ecosystem where you diversify the money of the micro trades. Then
no micro trade. Listen,
it's one
micro trade. Whatever you're giving is going to micro trade, and we are getting 200%. We are getting direct referral. We are getting unilevel. Okay.
So this is like I just had on the screen there a second ago, as we've already done this 10 months ago. Here we was going into this thing called Cashnode Finance. It's another finance opportunity called Cashnode.finance. And I haven't seen any other meetings about this opportunity since. But we actually did cause major disruption. And there will be a
15 levels.
Doesn't sound quite right because we are
the
live.
Unilevel, because our compensation plan is hybrid. It's a mix between binaries and Unilevel. Okay, but you don't have to do no qualification to get all the 15 levels open. Okay.
So it's just multi-level marketing, but this is obviously a sales pitch. This is another one we'll go to in a minute. I just want to give you an idea. You know, these opportunities are on the internet, and these people. This guy who's talking, he's the Alpha team. Is it Mahmoud Hassan?
Everything will be under the umbrella of Team Alpha. So Team Alpha has different things. So you coming under Team Alpha. Yes, we are investing through the system of microtrade.
Mate, this is a scam. What are you doing? Come on, stop it, mate. You know, get a real job. Don't mute me. You're live on the internet at the moment. This is just a scam. Stop it. Stop scamming people.
Who is that?
It's me. Oh, they removed me. So normally if I was doing a proper Zoom meeting, I'd go back in there. But, you know, once again, we just flip to another screen and there's another guy. Now, this guy, I'll just turn his sound on. I'm just showing you what these companies, how they go about recruiting people.
30-50% over in order to be able to
hopefully that's true, man.
Provide it out there. So
it just depends on your pricing model, man. Look at Costco. Costco is their thing is based on volume.
That's one of our Avengers.
So they could sell it underneath what the normal milk cost and other egg. It's called volume price. Volume
hey
pricing.
Guys, let's mute until the end, and then we'll open it for questions at the end.
Yeah. So Costco still has a number.
I would like to know the answer to that question, if you wouldn't mind. I think it's why don't we answer it now, please?
I recognize that voice already, Scott. So, yeah, and I'll state this: Costco has the same number as everybody else. You can't go under what the cruise line is. The number is the number.
It recognizes my voice.
If you ever go underneath of it again, you'll never be able to book with that cruise line again. So we all have limits and numbers as far as that goes. Volume is true. So if you have the opportunity to have a lot of people around the world, there you go. You got it. So Scotty, it's the same guy. So
he's talking about me.
Yeah, guys, we've had some hacker issues. It's unfortunate.
We're not hackers. We're stopping multi-level marketers who just preach a lie of passive income.
Guys,
we're not hackers,
sorry.
mate. I've been in the New York Times and featured in Bloomberg, busting people like you. We're broadcasting you live now on the internet.
Thank you for jumping on today, guys.
No,
we'll just try one-on-one phone calls.
Everyone in here, you're getting scammed by these multi-level marketers. I've been featured in the New York Times for my work. Don't smile like that, mate.
Yeah,
we're actually exploiting people. Mum and dad investors is what you do for a living. You're bottom feeders.
We'll come back.
That's all you are. Don't laugh it off.
Sorry,
you
Ryan,
can't
I
prove what you're
appreciate you, buddy.
preaching.
We'll talk later.
KTC. Shut down the meeting and get a real job. You can't get a real job. You guys are just scammers. Go on, try to shut me off. That's all you can do.
Danny I've had a real job my whole life.
You haven't had a real job, mate. Look at you sitting in your car preaching this message.
Hey,
what
guys,
sort of man are you?
Apologize. We're
apologizing for these scammers. What scammers are these? Disgusting scammers.
Yeah, just blow it out.
Oh, look at this lady, Tina, health burns. So that's it. So that's what we normally do, people, is we go into these meetings, cause major disruption and literally shut them down, which is absolutely brilliant. So I just want to give you a taste of what these people, and these particular people have done. KTC is the name of their company. And I can tell you now, they will just reboot themselves. I'm going to go in there with, I'm going to go Sam, and we'll go Apple, Apple, and we'll be ready for them when they come back. But in the meantime, let's carry on. But this is what Primerica, I can't even say it now, Primerica actually does, is they recruit people in these Zoom meetings, very much the same as you just saw. Brilliant.
Struggling, who do you know that already trusts you? They'd be perfect for Primerica. I've never heard anyone in any of these meetings say, who do you know that's already great with finance and is making good money? Because of course not. Those people are doing just fine working their horrible JOBs. Remember how Gary said that all those other MLM companies that are pyramid schemes, in his opinion, tie the product to recruiting? Well, in the next segment, Vivian explains how to do exactly that, even showing how it's incentivized with a $500 bonus for those who sign up new recruits and sell those new recruits a policy. It also proves that Gary's saying,
we don't pay bonuses,
is a flat out lie.
In order for you to get promoted to what's called a district leader, We're going to recruit 6 business partners for you. Let's say all 6 of your people get their own life insurance, and
This meeting is being recorded.
How you doing, Mars Honda?
Greetings.
How are you doing? What's the matter?
Wow.
Hey, love your last video. You got 100 views on that one.
You're very interesting. Why are you coming in under somebody else's name when I asked you?
Because
if
you
come
don't
in
let
under
me
your...
in. You don't let me in. You can't get over that, can you? You don't realize that if I come in with my name, you don't let me in. Don't mute me. Why don't you? Why would you mute me and then have a one-way conversation? Is that your gaslighting techniques?
Okay. I don't understand what it is, why you are so obsessed with coming into my room, saying lies, spreading lies.
You were involved with
saying
Trade
nasty...
Technologies, weren't you? And now you delete all their videos after that. Ponzi
The recording has stopped.
I knew that would get her. Anyway, sorry guys, can't help myself. But not every day you get. I call her Mars Honda, but I know. I think it's MARS Honda. Mazonda? I don't know, but she doesn't normally open up her Zoom meeting. But this lady is an example of a multi-level marketer because she promoted Trade Technologies with David Chandler, and that took $11 million off people, or $9 million, can't remember, in 8 months. And then she deletes all her videos and she claims she's a victim. Same with May Summervu. She was promoting it as well. And now she's promoting EU1 Life. And it's all multi-level marketing. She's also promotes, I think, CollegeNet, which claims that if you pay $50, you're going to make $500. And they just, one scheme after the other, they just keep promoting them. And that's why we go into these Zoom meetings. She's in here recruiting people to be multi-level marketings. You know, it's disgusting. So while we're doing this, we'll carry on running this video here, and we'll listen to these multi-level marketers who are just selling another product.
Average sell is $84. That's $6,000 in
Thanks,
volume
Susie.
that is done within your team, and you haven't even done any training yet. So you actually earn $200 for every training sale that we close over 1,000 in yearly volume, and we bring a recruit attached to that. Primerica has this awesome incentive going on right now, but for recruiting one business partner and doing 3 insurance sales, they're going to throw another $500. Now you have your 6x6. I wasn't even making this at my job after taxes. So to get this on a bonus, and all you got to do is put me in front of people. Literally, that's how simple this is, okay?
So simple. Here's my question. If you remove the part where you sell insurance to each of your recruits, how successful would Primerica really be? Same goes for every MLM. Would they see...
This meeting is being recorded.
Now you came in as your name. I appreciate that you did that. But what I don't appreciate is that you're spreading lies and saying things that aren't true. And I tried to have a really great conversation with you. And you called me out of my name the last time. You came on here. Let me speak first, and then I'm going to let you talk. I promise I'm going to let you talk. But I just don't understand. Why would I even want to have a conversation with a person that spreads lies? You know good and well I wasn't the owner of any of those companies. You wrote on my screen something about Hyperverse. I never even promoted Hyperverse. I don't even know what you're
I've never
talking
said
about.
you were the owner, so don't put words in my mouth.
Let me just talk 1 second.
No, you just
I said I'm going to let you talk.
You're going to cut me off anyway. But I've never said you were the owner. I said you were a promoter of it.
Let me just talk first.
You always talk.
Because that's not what you said. That's not what you said. Danny, that's not what you said. You said that I was the owner, that I stole $2 million from somebody.
No.
Go to my house
Prove
and
it.
harm. That's what you said.
Prove it. No, you prove it. I've never said that. I've never said you're the owner of Trade Technologies. You're just
you said that
using
on the video.
deflection. It's deflection, Mars Honda.
It's not about deflection. It's about the truth.
I never proved I said you were the owner. Listen to me. Instead of gaslighting me, prove I said that you were the owner of Trade Technology. I've never said you were the owner. I said you promoted it.
Okay. Promoting it or being involved as a person that you know, we're all reps in these companies. We don't know. Yeah, I never owned it, and that's the bottom line.
No, but you
that's not
promoted
what
it,
you
and that's
said.
why I called you out, because you shouldn't promote something that you can't prove is real.
Okay. Okay.
And then you deleted all your videos. Why did you delete your videos?
I was involved in a situation where people didn't do what they said they were going to do. That's absolutely
They never
true.
do, though.
Have you not? Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that you were never involved in something that turned out not to be what they said?
I don't
somebody
promote
told you that it was
multi-level marketing.
what
Never,
you
ever,
just
ever
don't like.
have.
You don't like multi-level marketing. You just don't like it, and it's okay. It's okay that you don't like it, but don't spread lies about
No, but
people.
you've promoted
That's not-
everything. You're promoting EU One Life. Did you not watch Pocket Watching with JT? Did you not see yourself featured on his video where he showed that company?
No, I didn't.
Well, you need to watch these
No, I
things. You need to
didn't.
be accountable. You can't sit here and promote EU One Life without telling me that you haven't researched them, because then you're going to go down the same track as you have previously.
Listen to me.
I'm always
I
listening
know
to
that
you.
E1
That's all we do is listen to you. But you have not done your... Go to Pocket Watching with JT and go and watch the video he's done about EU One Life. The same opportunity you're promoting right now. He featured you in there. My video, my research. And then he went and showed you that that is a scam, and you're still promoting it today. And you're going to say in a few months' time, how can you call me a scammer? Because you haven't researched these opportunities. Trade Technologies, $11 million was stolen by people. You promoted it.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm always holding on a second for you. You need to answer my questions instead of telling me stuff.
Okay, let me answer your question. You don't let me answer the question. I let you into my room, and I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and you're not letting me answer. I do not believe that E1U Life is a scam, and I'm going to tell you why.
No.
Because it has real products.
Have you watched Pocket PC's, JC's? Have you watched his video? Well, you need to watch his video, and then we need to have another meeting, because he's proven it is a scam. Without my words, without my content, he's proven it's a scam. There's a guy in there claiming he's made $2,000 in a week without even marketing it. There's other... You need to watch these videos before you start promoting this crap. I'm going to leave you now because I'm sick of listening to your gaslighting techniques. But you deleted all your videos from Trade Technologies, and you are accountable for people that you promote into these platforms. Have a great day, okay?
Yeah. Of course, you don't want to hear the truth.
The truth isn't coming out of your mouth anytime soon. The truth is never coming out of your mouth. You just lie and you delete videos after it all goes pear-shaped. No, God is not going to bless me. I don't need God to promote your scams.
Okay, God bless you, sir.
Trade Technologies. You promoted it. People lost money because you gaslighted them into it. I watched you in those meetings with David Chandler. You're disgusting.
Okay. All right,
you are disgusting.
You wanted to come on here.
No, I'm telling you should not. You need to stop promoting multi-level marketing. I've got my camera on. Look at you. You've turned your camera off.
Show yourself to everybody. Show yourself to everybody.
Well, I know you broadcast me on your YouTube channel. Do not listen to Mars Honda. She is a scammer.
Go ahead.
This is what this lady does. She will delete all her YouTube videos once the opportunity falls over.
What you like to do, sir?
You just yell at people. I've listened to you for months and months and months.
Telling lies. Oh my goodness, you're just
go to Pocket Watching with JT and watch your own video where he exposed what you promote for a living. No, you don't. I got removed. Anyway, I'm running out of time, so I've got to carry on. That will be on her YouTube channel later on.
Any sales of their products if the people recruited to the company weren't also encouraged or mandated to buy them as well. Also, this 6x6 that Vivian mentioned seems very unassuming, but if you actually play that out, a process of 6 people who recruit 6 people who recruit 6 people could only be repeated 12 cycles before your downline exceeded the entire population of the earth. And because the bottom of the pyramid is always expanding with each new layer, the majority of all recruits will always be in the bottom layer. This means that it will always be mathematically impossible for the majority of people in the company to move up even 1 level. Also, if the people in my downline cancel their policy or one of their customers cancels their policy, it triggers what's called a chargeback, meaning that advance commission you got when you made the sale has to be paid back to the policy issuer. And that means that everyone above you in the chain gets a chargeback on their piece of the pie as well. The only way to guarantee that a person leaving the company doesn't have this detrimental effect on me is to keep recruiting. This proven system is in a constant state of collapse, and the only solution is for recruitment to outpace quitting. thing.
Now you have 6 people to work with. 6 people.
So guys, I've got to get ready for a run, so I'm just going to put this on full screen and let this play out, and then hopefully when I come back, we'll be able to
So guess what, Reggie? If you had to book 8 to 10 appointments,
do a wee
what do
bit
you
of a
think
summary.
your 6 people have to do?
This is a huge red flag. New recruits are being encouraged to prospect their friends and family on behalf of their upline before they themselves are even licensed. But why would you give your sales away to your upline instead of waiting until you got your license and making the sales yourself? Surely the commission you would make from those sales is more than this field training bonus would be, right? The field training bonus actually only benefits your upline. If only 5 of your new recruits made a purchase, then you wouldn't be eligible for the bonus because you need 6 recruits to buy a policy to get the bonus. But your upline would still get paid off the 5 people that you did bring in. It's like a scam within the scam.
So let's say on the average, each person books at least 6 appointments, 36 appointments, and let's say the average sell is 1,000. That's 36,000. If you're at a 50% contract that I got you at, 50% of 36,000 is 18,000 that you make your first month license.
In a business model where most people will lose money, how do you say something like this with a straight face? Vivian finishes off her presentation with this list template for you to fill in, as well as a script for what to say on the phone to your potential recruits. In this script, it says to tell your recruit that in order to qualify to get licensed, you need to observe 8 to 10 field training observations. This is simply a lie. Anyone can go get their insurance license from the government. You don't need Primerica. And even if you were in Primerica, you still wouldn't be required to do these field training appointments to get your license. I found this video on Gary's YouTube channel, which is about Vivian and her pursuit of the Primerica dream, and this video absolutely broke my heart.
And I felt I was stuck. I had dropped out of college and I felt like, okay, I need to find a career. I need to find something stable. My childhood friend, they said, I want to introduce you to somebody. Everyone was trying to talk me out of, don't do that, you're wasting your time. And I realized no one around me was successful. And I remember like crying and like yelling, like, you guys just don't want to see me do good. You don't understand.
My best friend from high school said almost exactly the same thing to me when I tried to express my concern about the MLM he was in. He was brainwashed. In the next part, Vivian talks about her mom getting sick with cancer and passing away shortly after. She says that during the time her mom was sick, she locked herself up in her home office and got to work trying to build her Primerica business instead of spending time with her family because they would understand later. She felt that she was doing this for them.
And then this is kind of where the business really did pay off, because why do you build a business? That month I took off and my business kept working without me, buying my dream car, materialistic stuff, but things that I lost that I gained back and then some. When I say I found my purpose, I found my purpose.
This is so heartbreaking to me because I believe Vivian is a good person whose situation was taken advantage of. I also empathize with her regarding the passing of her mom because last year my grandma was suddenly diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and died a month later. When our loved ones pass away, the time we had with them is the only thing that matters, not money or anything else. Vivian explains that it was thanks to Primerica that she was able to take time off after her mom passed away, but I can't help but feel like the time she should have been taking off was when her mom was still alive. And then talking about buying her dream car and gaining back what she lost and then some. I just don't understand this. The car is just a car. The money can't bring her mom back. Vivian, if you're watching this, I want you to know I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you're a scammer. You said at the end that you found your purpose. Vivian, I promise you, God did not take away your mom as some sign that you need to do Primerica. Gary has been in Primerica for 35 years. I can't even begin to imagine the number of Vivians that have been created as a result of his mentorship. I think if Gary was such a good mentor and such a respectable businessman, he should have used some of his endless wealth to help you during your time of need so you could enjoy the little time you had left with your mom. After all, in Gary's own words,
I could burn through 100 grand.
Let's break down this unlimited income potential, shall we?
This is where it gets pretty good.
Primerica as an associate for $99. Then you get your state insurance license. Now you're at the representative level and you get a 25% commission of any life insurance policy that you sell, which is severely lower than the standard starting commission for most life insurance companies that don't use an MLM model. This makes me think, why would a company whose goal is to make sales put the obstacle in their own way of making people pay to work for them as well as having to recruit others when most insurance companies don't do this? With Primerica, you can unlock a higher commission by recruiting people under you who also pay to join the company. This harkens back to the mathematically impossible 6x6 we looked at earlier. Technically, with Primerica, you could just sell the products and not recruit anyone anyone, but the starting commission is so low that even if you were able to sell $4,000 worth of life insurance in your first month as a brand new agent, your commission would only be $1,000. And the expectation I've been given so far during this meeting is making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. But with this model where advancement is based on recruiting, you could rise through the ranks of Primerica and make money without ever trying to sell to customers, instead just recruiting more people and selling a policy to them when they join. And from what we've seen, this is exactly what recruits are encouraged to do. I found 20 of these fast start guides, which were created by the leaders of different teams or base shops in Primerica. Technically, these aren't official Primerica documents, and I'm sure Primerica would deny that they approve of these fast start guides being used to train new recruits, but in my opinion, these are an accurate representation of how Primerica's recruiters are actually operating out in the field. In one of the fast start guides from the TMM base shop, which stands for Turner Millionaire Movement, the first page talks about how you could be making between $1,000 and $3,000 per month within 60 days, and emphasizes the importance of not letting negative people destroy your positive attitude and desire to win. On page 2, it says, commit to the 4-point game plan, and step 1 is everyone is focused on recruiting. At the end, it includes this image, which is literally a pyramid recruiting model. The rest of the document includes spaces to write down your goals, a list of friends and family you can call up and pitch Primerica to, and a template of a script telling you what you should and shouldn't say when recruiting someone to Primerica, similar to what we saw at the end of Vivian's presentation. The other 19 fast start manuals from different base shops are all almost identical to this one. Ultimately, I think disguising your MLM as a financial services company is a really clever way of running an MLM, because you do have to get licensed to sell financial services and products. So saying that you're a financial advisor appears a lot more legit on the surface than just selling shampoo or protein shakes like some other MLMs. Nonetheless, it's still just an elaborate disguise to hide the true moneymaker in the company, recruitment. And when recruitment is touted as the real way to make money, this should be a huge red flag that you're looking at a pyramid scheme. According to Primerica's annual report for 2021, there were 349,374 new recruits, and around 39,000, or roughly 1/10 of them, even made it to the point of getting licensed, which means that only around 1/10 of all new recruits who joined Primerica were even eligible to earn money from the compensation plan at all. And at the end of the year, they had roughly the same amount of licensed sales reps as they did at the beginning of the year. But how? Didn't they bring on almost 40,000 new licensed agents? Does that mean that around 40,000 people left the company? Yes, this is what I meant when I talked about how the business model is in a constant state of collapse. So how much did the people who could even earn money make? In 2021, the average earnings of a Primerica recruit was $8,410 a year, or $700 a month, not including expenses. It cost $99 to join Primerica, plus a monthly fee of $25 for their back office software. So if you stayed in for 1 year, you'd have spent roughly $400 that year. This doesn't even include any policies or financial products you may have purchased from Primerica yourself, or the opportunity cost of your time, or other expenses relating to Primerica like gas, driving to and from the office. This also doesn't include maybe the biggest factor, which is that this average is massively inflated because it takes into account the earnings of the people at the top of the pyramid. If even one of these people was taken out of the equation, that average would be much, much lower. So it's not hard to imagine that most of the people who even made it to the point of earning anything lost money. Ready to go a little deeper down the rabbit hole of mindless motivational babble and toxic positivity? Look no further than Daniel Alonzo.
Frequencies. You should be listening to frequencies often. What is confidence?
Write this down. Progress equals happiness.
Get out of the lazy business, okay? All we are is energy.
I wanted to be partying on Friday night.
No mistakes. Only lessons.
Friday night is a great night to party. I want to party on Friday night.
We're not real. All of us. What are your habits?
It's a different world when you go out on Tuesday night versus Friday night.
Whatever you think about is going to be created in your reality. Frequencies.
Oh, you're going to go to that Primerica thing on Saturday morning?
Instead of popping that medicine or whatever, go listen to some frequencies. Fuck it, man. I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about me. I don't care that I'm uneducated. I don't have a college education. Believe in yourself.
Daniel has been in Primerica for a very long time, and he leans into the pseudoscience of the law of attraction and alternative medicine harder than anyone I've seen in Primerica. He also has a YouTube channel where he teaches about business with videos like how to get a new recruit off to a fast start. All new recruits should watch how to coach a new recruit. Recruiting tips. Recruit to build it big. To your new recruit. How to recruit more people in why you struggle with recruiting. How to overcome recruiting how to triple your how to recruit more how to recruit someone in 6 minutes. Daniel emphasizes recruiting and duplication as the real drivers of success in Primerica, even going as far as saying in one of his Instagram captions, "This is your real job. Recruiting is the answer to all of your business problems."
As a new entrepreneur,
Your job is to recruit.
A guy told me, hey, aren't you a pyramid? What I asked them is, first of all, do you like pyramids? No, I don't like pyramids. And I said, then we're nothing like a pyramid. Number one, pyramids are illegal.
I love this answer. It's one of my favorite deflections used by MLM recruiters because it implies that just because something is illegal, it doesn't exist. Imagine someone getting pulled over for drunk driving and they tell the cop, officer, there's no way I could have been drunk driving. Drunk driving is illegal.
An illegal pyramid scheme. Money is made primarily by recruiting others without any real products or services. All right, that's the difference, okay? The physical product is what makes it legal. You sound really, really uneducated when you say that, because nobody ever says that, right? If you actually understand business, you would never say that.
This is wrong. There have been more than 30 companies shut down for being pyramid schemes, and all of them had products. All of them were also
Hopefully we'll get to the end of this.
Legitimate multi-level marketing companies up until the day they were discovered not to be. I personally believe that every single MLM company that exists today is in fact a pyramid scheme, but political lobbying stops regulators from opening a wider investigation into the industry as a whole, instead choosing to appear to do something about the problem on a case-by-case basis, weeding out individual companies but doing nothing about the root problem. Here to help us understand how Primerica specifically contributes to this political game is William Keep, professor of marketing from the College of New Jersey.
So the first slide I'm showing you here is the percentage of political contributions given by 3 MLM companies, Primerica, Amway, and Melaleuca, relative to 3 well-known leading companies in 3 major industries.
Irrelevant.
These are leading firms, MLM companies, in an industry that constitutes less than 1% U.S. retail sales, disproportionately, I think, giving to political candidates and political parties. Here I've added in annual lobbying in these years. The biggest increase we see from the previous slide is with Primerica, clearly leading the MLM companies in terms of the increase due to lobbying.
The way I interpret these graphs is that the MLM companies have a much bigger interest in making sure the government is on their good side than even companies like Meta or Pfizer. Is that how you would interpret this?
Yeah, I agree with that. These are people who think about how they spend their money, and this is how they've decided to spend their money year after year. So they must be getting something that they like as a result.
I know what your mom said. Your mom said that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
But like, it sounds almost too good to be true.
Absolutely. Of course it does.
Is it just pessimism and negativity that is stopping people from doing this?
Yes, 100%. The real thing is all of these older generations, they think it's a pyramid.
What is that?
A pyramid is if, the way a pyramid is, it's quite illegal, actually.
A pyramid scheme.
A pyramid scheme is the top person gets all the money,
Uh-huh.
and nobody else gets anywhere.
And people think this is that.
Well, some people do think this is that, of course, because we have RVP,
Yeah.
and then we have regional leader, and we have district leader. But if you think about it, your job has a CEO, then it has a manager.
No, they just
a night
repeat
manager,
everyone
a
else's
day
jargon,
manager,
don't they?
And then it's got supervisors, and then it's got the peons. My dad, for instance, Primerica's a scam. It's a pyramid. It's all
It
these
is.
things.
My
No
opinion.
matter what I told
I'm allowed to have my opinion.
He was not listening.
I call it a
You know
scam.
what?
I call
It's okay
all
because
email
I
wins a
believe in
scam
it. I
quite
think
happily.
this is going to change my life. This is going to change my
Whether
children's
they're
lives.
illegal.
And I left him alone.
It's
When you
debated.
get started in something like this, your friends may change. You have to seriously take your open your give it a
And you know
wash.
what? You
Put it back on.
your head, brain. What you gotta
brainwash yourself into the proper things in life.
Totally.
Don't get me wrong, I learned about insurance and investments and all that crap we talk about, but I learned about who I really am. And I took that and I ran with it. And I just became that better person. Just like anybody who comes here.
And now you see how the mind virus of multi-level marketing can spread. Here's this woman all the way up here in Alberta, Canada, saying the exact same things we've seen said by top leaders in Primerica. And she has been chasing this Primerica dream for 15 years to the detriment of her relationship with her dad and who knows how much money. I don't believe this lady is a bad person. Like Vivian, I believe that she has been so effectively brainwashed that she doesn't even see the layers of deception that are at play here. She believes. So is Primerica a pyramid scheme? According to the FTC, the 4 warning signs of a pyramid scheme are: 1. Promoters make extravagant promises about your earning potential. Stop. These promises are false.
Guess what, Dad? We're gonna be rich.
2. Promoters emphasize recruiting new distributors for your sales network as the real way to make money. Walk away.
As a new entrepreneur, Your job is to recruit.
3. Promoters play on your emotions or use high-pressure sales tactics, maybe saying you'll lose the opportunity if you don't act now and discouraging you from taking time to study the company. Leave by the nearest exit.
I might be wealthy as all outdoors next week and don't want to work with you.
4. Distributors buy more products than they want to use or can resell just to stay active in the company or to qualify for bonuses or other rewards. If you see this happening, keep your money.
Let's say all 6 of your people get their own life insurance and the average sell is $84. That's $6,000 in volume that is done within your team, and you haven't even done any training yet.
Throughout this video, we have seen every single one of these boxes checked. So why is Primerica still around and why hasn't anything been done? Unfortunately, the amount of people that actually take the time to report when they've been scammed is insanely low, and I can understand why. The shame can be immense, and most people probably feel like just moving on after it happens to them, or they feel like making their voice heard won't actually do anything. But I can promise you that's not true. The spread of videos like this is proof of that. People want change, and historically, change only happens when enough people make their voices heard. Those of us who have lost money, time, or relationships owe it to ourselves as well as future victims to report these things. Instead of promoting my Patreon or merchandise, I'm going to ask that you take a minute to use either the FTC form or the Canadian Competition Bureau form in the description and report your experience with an MLM company. Whether you were in one and felt you were deceived, or you were prospected and promised financial freedom, or if you have a friend or relative who is or has been in one. Let's spare the next generation from multi-level marketing. And to Gary, Mario, Daniel, and anyone else perpetuating the lie that Primerica is the way to financial freedom, fuck you.
Don't you love that? So there's a fellow YouTuber who's obviously getting harassed at the moment by Primerica, and we just wanted to weigh in and basically write a blog about what I think this is. Someone asked a message in the chat room here. Do I believe all are any multi-level marketing projects legal? Well, they're not legal. I can't say that they're illegal, because if they were illegal, you wouldn't think they'd be able to operate. But you've got to use common sense. And common sense is when you watch these companies, they are all about recruitment, and they give people this passive income dream that they're going to have amazing earning potential. They encourage you to push this to your friends and family first. They tell you to recruit those type of people. They encourage you to, they use religious undertones. They go after the Black African community a lot of the times. And I just believe it's disgusting. So that's my 2 cents worth. Go read my blog. You'll find it on dehek.com. Do make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also within the blog, you'll find a link to AlwaysMarco's. Do make sure you go to his YouTube channel and give him credit where credit due. He's done a fantastic job. And also the Unicity one that he did yesterday, absolutely amazing. And we've also been busting some of the same scammers that he chases down. As you can see in this video, I went after 3 Zoom meetings live. We shut one of them down. And also we managed to chase one of our hero scammers down. And if you're not familiar with Mars Honda Henderson, the lady I was talking to, and you're wondering why we picked on her, if you go to my website and you search for Mars Honda Henderson, you will see that we actually have done quite a few videos on her. And also she's currently promoting Go EU1 Life, which is absolutely incredible. And if you'll find lots of other opportunities that she's been heavily promoting. So it's not like I'm promoting just grabbing some lady and yanking her out and calling her out. This lady is disgusting. She really, really is. And if you search for EU1 Life and go to, I think if we search for JT, you can find a video right here on Pocket Watching with JT. And in here, you can actually see that he's actually done a big, massive...
And the person who claims to own this company, his name is David Golden.
Yeah, so there's
Remember
lots
that
of
last name.
Evidence in here.
Golden. His name is David Golden.
If we go back to about here...
His research, I was able to discover who owns this company. Who's the boss? Who the pappy? Who's in charge of all this? And why are they targeting the Black community? It seems as if it's a little weird.
So go check out that video of Pocket Watching with JT. He is a regulated financial advisor, a real guy. He went through my video and built his own video to call this company out. And if, as I said earlier on, if you go to Mars Honda Henderson's website today. She's promoting that as an opportunity of a lifetime, just like she was with Trades Technologies. I'm Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I'm off to run around in the hills, do some trail running. That's me for today. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you to everyone in the chat room. We'll see you in the next video.